This telecast is available on ESPN2 HD. Welcome to the record-setting racetrack, Route 66 Raceway, just 30 miles south and west of downtown Chicago, Illinois. Situated just off the legendary ribbon of road it's named after, it's the historical performances at Route 66 that keep drivers and fans of the Lucas Oil Drag Racing Series flocking back. To where today, a double dip awaits as the JegsAllStars are here as well. You want kicks? We got kicks and giant wheel stands at Route 66. From the palatial estate known as Route 66 Raceway, located 30 miles south of Chicago, we welcome you to the 11th annual Torco Racing Fuels Nationals. Double dipping today with the 24th annual JegsAllStars, and as you can see, we've got a great crowd on hand, and why wouldn't we? This is a utopia for sportsman fans. We've got the best of the best on the property this weekend, competing at two very distinct events. Hello everyone, alongside of Bob Fry, I'm Dave Reef, and welcome to Route 66 Raceway, a record-setting racetrack where today we're going to set a few more records with the 24th annual JegsAllStars. It kicks off our first of 2 days of coverage, and Bob, how does it work?
First of all, utopia is a good word. We don't work that in very often, but for these racers that run the series in the Lucas Oil Drag Racing Series and accumulate points at their divisional races, not at the national events, but you get points, earn them at the division, the top all-star representative gets to come here. If on occasion the top guy can't make it for some reason, they go to the second place driver and he gets a chance to come out here. Then the teams all lock up. They match up for individual points honors. The blockers are the defending champions. They can win rounds. They can win the race. They cannot earn points for their division. They can stop the other divisions from making it. And if somebody should win the Jegs All-Star race and double up, that really is utopia because they get, a whole pile of cash. A whole pile.
Well, one of the guys that's been most successful on the individual level and the team level is standing by with a third member of our broadcast crew. Here's Gary Jarrell.
Well, there is certainly nobody with more impressive credentials in this Jegs competition than Frank Manzo. The record clearly speaks for itself. This is his 16th appearance in All-Star competition. He's won it 6 times, including the last 3 years. And oh, by the way, in national championship competition, he hasn't lost a round of racing in nearly a year. In view of all those great credentials and the things that you've accomplished, Frank, you still get jacked up for all-star competition when you've got the best from all over the country?
Very much. Every time I climb a race car, no matter if it's qualifying or a race, I'm pretty excited in the seat, and I drive it hard, and I do the best I can on the tree and driving it. And this weekend is no exception. It's very nice of the Jegs family to put this on for the sportsman races, the all-star race, and I know all the sportsmen thank them very much. And Jay Payne here next round is going to be tough. I mean, every round is tough here. This is the all-stars. This is the best of the best. So I'm pretty excited. I'm pretty jacked up, and me and Jay Payne, we're going to go up there, and it's going to be a great race.
This man is not only a great driver, he also tunes. He does all the work. We just dragged him out from underneath the car, looking remarkably crisp here. Do you consider yourself a better driver or a better tuner?
Now, I think a little better tuner. I'm not... I drive the car pretty nice, but when I was 5 or 6 years when I was a little younger, I was smoother in the car. Now, just that, I'm getting up in age here a little bit, but I do okay. I mean, everybody says I do good, both ends really good, but I'm just having fun. That's what it's all about here. This is why I do it, for fun.
He sets a standard that everybody shoots for.
Certainly would have to agree. What do you say we break down round number 1, the great 8 in all 8 of our sportsman divisions, when we begin with Brandon Pierce out of Oklahoma in Division 4 taking on Division 5's Richard Putz.
Yeah, very interesting matchup right here, and great numbers, 544 to 547. The interesting thing is the 547 wins the drag race.
Then it would be Tom Bayer set to take on Spencer Massey out of Division 4, but he is the defending champion and can only block, but it's pretty tough to block when you turn on the red light. That means Massey is on the trailer. Tom Bayer for Steve and Patty Federland move in to the second round of the Jegs All-Stars. Top alcohol funny car, first pair, Doug Gordon out of Division 7. Steve Harker, the man we saw win in Topeka, out of Division 4.
Doug, one of the many drivers who is part of a father-son team that have raced here. Dad ran here twice and won once, runner-up another time, and the kid hoping to carry on in Dad's tradition.
And it is Doug Gordon moving on, 567. That's an upset. Remember, Harker, one of the big players on the alcohol funny car scene. Another one, Jay Payne set to take on Brian Haug. This is a Division 2 versus Division 6 matchup, and it could set up a potential round 2 with Frank Manzo, who we can tell you moves on. Did Payne win? Did Payne get to face Manzo in round 2? You betcha, and that action is coming up. Payne goes 562, trailers Haug's 569. Competition eliminator, Jim Cowan, Matt Harris, a good matchup.
Matt Harris, one of the guys subbing. Michael Johnson could not make it. His mom's a bit under the weather in the hospital. Our thoughts and prayers with them. And Jim Cowan here, the Winter Nationals champ right there with a little eye-altered automatic, trying to hang on and go into the next round.
And we move on now to Super Stock. This a primetime matchup. The Emmons family out of Texas, and Jerry Emmons set to take on Anthony Bertazzi, former Lucas Oil world champion.
Yeah, Anthony put a 002 on the board. 000 is perfect, so 2,000th away is pretty good, and I believe that's going to parlay into a, what do you call it? Oh yeah, winner.
By how much, you might ask? About that much. A great, great race indeed. John Coughlin carrying the Jegs name and the Jegs colors over on the right side, set to take on Darren Smith in another Super Stock matchup.
Yeah, the reigning Lucas Oil world champ, that really cool Dodge, comes in California. Unfortunately, it's red night and good night for Darren here in round number 1. The Coughlin name, that's 4 of the brothers that have all competed here in the Jegs All-Star competition.
You want to ride on board? This is what it looks like from the driver's seat of John Coughlin's Super Stock machine. A great run down the racetrack as he moves into round number 2.
Looked like Frank Manzo. Smooth, wasn't that?
Very, very smooth. Stock eliminator equally as smooth as Troy Henderson and Brenda Grubbs. This Division 5 over on the right side of the racetrack. Division 2 in the left.
Brenda, great runner, former division champ. Not a whole lot of females have competed here, and very few have won it, but she gets this win in round number 1 and keeps her title hopes alive, and another round win for the gang from Division 2.
And it certainly has been the year of the lady in drag racing all the way around. Then it's Division 7's Errol Farmer, Division 6 Tommy Gaynor.
A great matchup right here. The guys come in from the great Northwest and out in the Pacific Coast. Good old match race. You got to love the station wagons, just trying to hang on. And how about that? Tommy Gaynor gets the win.
Gaynor, you want to see what a wheel standing on board looks like? Wheel standing stocker, that is. Well, you just got a good look at what it looks like to look at the sky before you look down, and of course over to your right to see if you take the stripe first. Super Count, the 890 category. This is Ron Erks and Mike Fuqua, a primetime matchup.
He is the blocker, is Ron Erks. He is another former Lucas Oil world champ. He can win the round, but he can't win points for his division. But like we said, he can keep all the other division guys from winning. He does just that. Look at the numbers. Marvelous run right there. 100th away from being perfect on the starting line. Won it by just that much.
Another one of the .90 categories, Super Gas, as we get set to watch Val Torres in the Corvette take on Carl Root.
Yeah, a couple of rookies here, Val Torres, father and son. They both come in from California. Gets an opportunity to run here. 2 drivers that have probably never been on the same racetrack at the same time before.
And when it's all said and done, Carl Root moves into the semifinal round here at the Jegs All-Stars with that win. Super Street, Jeff Landholm and Reagan Wilson. My Division 5 representative, the last man standing, the only chance that D5 has to get a person into round 2.
You got to love this truck. It's 565 cubic. It is a big speed. Try to run him down. He's from Texas. He owns a truck. What are the odds?
How about Landholm, though? My Nebraska boy moves in to that second round. Well, as points stack up, we can tell you 100 for a win. Division 1 holds a slight lead over Division 4, while Divisions 2 and 3 are right there as well. So very tight at the top, but still lots more racing to come today from Route 66 Raceway. Want to know what a high-motion camera looks like? Well, let's go and take a peek at Ron Erks. Boy, look at that helmet snap back as he drops the clutch on that Super Comp car. That's 600 frames a second. Breaks it down very nicely. We'll break down round number 2 of the Jegs All-Stars when we come back to Route 66 Raceway. I invite you to come on back as well. The NHRA Lucas Oil Drag Racing Series, brought to you by Lucas Oil. Made in America, sold to the world. Welcome back to the 24th Annual Jegs All-Stars. Just part of the action here at the 11th Annual Torco Racing Fuels Route 66 Nationals. You go wheel standing with Michael Iacono and his Super Stocker, a man who's still alive and about to be on the racetrack in round number 2. We'll have all that action coming your way, but not before we go out and get a bite to eat with Chef Nicky over at Jegs, dealing up some Chicago deep dish style pizza. And well, one of the guys that can at least taste that is Nicky right there, the Team Jegs chef, is the man Jeg, who stands by with Bob and I right now to talk a little bit about the Jegs All-Stars. You got a little pizza sauce on there, Jeg. Good stuff, though, I imagine.
Yeah, it's tough, man. Let me tell you. Nicky does a fabulous job. And, you know, a couple years ago, on the tour here, one of the guys was saying, hey, Nicky's always asking, can I do something different? He's like, how about a deep dish pizza? And we happened to be coming here to Chicago, and man, he knocked it out of the park. It was beautiful, and what you saw today was like, it had some pepperoni, a little bit of sausage, and some nice thin sliced onions that he put in there, and it was fantastic.
You're killing me.
Yeah.
You're killing me.
Bob's drilling. The 24th version of this race, it keeps getting bigger and better every year. What keeps you coming back?
Man, the JegsAllStars, it is the best of the best race for the Lucas Oil Series Sportsman Racing. And Jegs is very proud to be a part of it as a family and as a company. And I think it's that desire. And I can recall at about age 13 looking over the fence and watch 13 or 14 watching the first ever TRW All-Stars back in the day.
Yep.
And I'm thinking, man, I can't wait to see this again next year. And then the next year I'm thinking I'd like to be a part of that someday. And here we are. Not only being a part of it, but also Brother John in the action.
Well, when it's all said and done, this family will hand out more than $100,000 in checks. And let's find out who those guys are going to be in the money round as we take a look at our semifinal events, starting with our top alcohol dragsters. John Fink, the #1 qualifier, set to take on Tom Bayer, but Bayer, a pretty tough customer.
Very strong machine. Here's a guy that's been a Jegs All-Star before. He's won national events and he's won divisions in Super Gas and Super Comp. Running here in the Alki, that is the epitome of what the sportsman races are, just moving up the food chain.
Marty Thacker's a two-time winner, been to the finals 4 the last 5 years. Will he go there again? Brandon Pierce has his say in it, and he says, nope, you're going to the trailer. Sorry, we're going to go try to get that Jegs money. $7,000 going to the winner.
Look at that,
and top
5,000
alcohol dragster. That was a great race. Top alcohol funny car, the monster matchup over real quick.
What does Frank Manzo mean to the Jegs All-Star? He is the man.
You know, I think this is his 16th or 17th time in the All-Stars, and you see him turn another win light on there, going for his 7th triumph today. Stay tuned.
He's amazing.
Mick Snyder in that new good-looking Mustang, got Power Source Transportation, no longer running the Lenko, taking on Doug Gordon, but it's Gordon who streaks away as Snyder runs into problems. He's in the money round.
Gordon, another great family. His dad participated in this a couple times, Jegs. It really is a trickle-down thing, fathers to sons, just like your family.
No doubt about it.
Competition Eliminator, I know you know something about this. This is Adam Bowdish and Sal Biondo, another one of those great racing names.
Yep, we got classic East Coast and West Coast matchup here. The Bowdish family just bought into A1 transmissions, and but he's got Sal in the other lane, and looks like Sal got the win right there.
Biondo's are tough, aren't they?
They sure are. Sal and Pete, and even Pop's excellent behind the wheel.
I guess the Biondos have had some deep dish pizza in their years.
Yes, they have.
Jim Cowan out of Division 7, set to take on the Cajun Killer, Greg Bourgeois out of Division 4. This is a great matchup as well.
Isn't it a great comp eliminator? They got the full-bodied six-cylinder in the dragster. You love comp, don't you?
I love comp, and Bourgeois just kind of making his way down through the quarter mile in that front motor dragster, nostalgia style, getting the win.
That old deep dish crawfish over in their pit area.
They probably did.
Hey, here's your brother. How's John going to do as you see Michael Iacono get the big start?
Both of them with the wheels up start. Looked like John's car picked the front end up and then spun the rear tires, and looks like Michael's out front for the win.
We could have a redo, you know.
Yeah, let's do a little.
It is the
buyback
Jegs
or
All-Star.
something.
It's not the Iacono All-Stars.
That's right.
Brian Werner out of Division 1. Anthony Bertazzi, you had the 002 in the first round.
What's
Did he get better?
000. I went by Anthony's pit and he said, man, Jackie J, they didn't give me a reaction time. It was 000.
What makes some of those guys so good, Jackie?
You know, it's racing day in and day out. I think Anthony collectively with the IHRA and NHRA 17 world championships, many more than anyone ever.
The blockers are having a heck of a good race. This is stock eliminator. Russell Linky, the Division 1 blocker, can't get points, but he can still win this darn thing. And Austin Ford's going to try to give him a run for the money, but come up short.
Jackie, we mentioned those blockers earlier. We're thinking about having an 8th division next year for the blockers. They're like cleaning house.
Yeah, that's definitely a first that I can recall in the history of the All-Stars. So many blockers are just knocking them dead today, thus far in competition.
Tommy Gaynor out of Division 6. The Division 2 participant, Brenda Grubbs. She's our lady, and it's been the year of the lady.
Yeah, really. She's a great runner over there. Former division champion. Really earned that one.
Sure did. Here we go on board with Gaynor.
Interesting you talk about the women because Tommy Gaynor, one of the few guys here, his mom raced in this Jegs All-Star a couple of years back. So there aren't a lot of mother-son combinations.
It's awesome.
That's a great shot, isn't it?
Up and onward to Super Comp, the 890 category. We start with Lloyd Parfait, taking on Ron Erks. He's another one of the tough customers, Jackie.
No doubt about it. Ron's been a champion here at the Jegs All-Star event, and we're seeing him work his magic there at the top end.
You guys have raced side by side a couple of times, huh?
Sure have.
Some of the big bracket races and everything?
Yep.
And by the way, Erk's another one of those blockers. Then it would be Sherman Adcock out of Division 2, Jack Sapanic out of Division 1.
They talk about this, the best of the best. Adcock, Erks, we just saw them going to run for the money. That is the epitome of this class right now.
It sure is. And, you know, the Adcock family, another family that's been in racing forever, and he's going to go into another All-Star final.
Super Gas, Wes Neely from Division 4, Mike Sawyer, Division 1, Neely. The 003 red light just a little too quick. Sawyer into the final.
You hate to go this far and foul out, don't you, Jaggy? What's the guy thinking going down the track?
Well, the guy's thinking, man, I wish I could back up and try that again. And you see Neely at minus 003, just 0.003 of a second from perfect. Sawyer, no slouch at 9 thou.
Carl Root on the left side, Mike Coltrane on the right.
Carl Root, one of the hometown Division 3 guys. You cheering for the D3 boys?
Well, you know, you always got a little edge for the Division 3 guys, and Carl raced against him for years and years, and he takes a win right there with a great run. Both of them have great runs, but Carl came out on top.
Now we move on to Super Street. Gary Federico out of Division 1. They're having a pretty good go of it. Dwight Downing from Division 7.
East-West, two guys have probably never been on the same racetrack, but both division champs.
Very likely they've never been on the same racetrack, and the Downing family tough from Division 7 there, and takes the win light again, heading into another final.
The lone participant from Division 5 on the left side, that's Jeff Landholm, taking on the blocker, Craig Abbott. We said this has been the race of the blocker, and once again, it's Abbott blocking his way into the finals.
Yeah, it is incredible the way to do it. Those guys get here by being champs, and they're showing why right here. They don't want to give up those titles without a fight, do they, Jaggy?
No, they sure don't. You know, we've seen it in years past where blockers have won the next year, and I think it was even the next year, and it might have been in Super Street, and I've drawn blank on the name.
Rudy
Craig.
Matthews.
Rudy Matthews was one, and was it Cam Plain or no? At any rate, outstanding. Yeah, you do not want to give up that crown. The JegsAllStars is one you covet and want to keep in the family.
When it's all said and done, you see the point spread between Divisions 1 and 2 and 4. I will tell you that Division 1 has 2 finalists that can earn points. Division 2 has 3. And Division 4 has 2. So it's going to be neck and neck right to the very end. Well, Jeg, apparently we're going to have another very successful Jegs All-Stars. As you look forward now to the future, would you consider something like we were talking about there, maybe making a Division 8 for the blocker?
Well, you know, for all of you that don't know, the previous year's champion does come back to compete because there are 7 geographical divisions in the NHRA, so that makes the 8-car field. So we kind of already have that 8th division with the blockers. So, you know, I'd probably have to rule against that thought.
How about this then for an idea? Instead of all the cash and the really cool checks, a deep dish pizza for all the winners. Actually, should give it to the losers. Let them get something out of this thing.
Well, and for what it's worth, the blockers would have a 200-point lead. They would have 1,000. So we'll keep working on them as we continue to eat deep dish pizza. Jeg, thanks for stepping in.
My pleasure, always.
Always,
thank you.
Always good to have Jeg and the family on board as we take a look at another one of these big giant wheel standers. That's a stop.
That's Troy Henderson and everything. Boy, you'll love that. If you watch up closely, make sure that your seat back and tray tables are in their full upright and locked position, because that baby's taking off.
High motion camera, 300 frames to 600 frames a second, supplied by Fletcher's Chicago. Just some of the great pictures. We're going to be handing out some hardware, Jegs hardware, big money, when we come back to Route 66. Day has turned into night as a thunderstorm has brought darkness to Route 66 raceways. We get kicked off with the Jegs Super Street All-Star Final. It's Craig Abbott and it's Dwight Downing.
And it's a rematch of last year's drag race in the final that was won by Craig Abbott. Downing from California, the Division 7 champion, trying to hold on for his first All-Star win, and Craig Abbott gets the nod. He pushed Downing out, and for back-to-back years, Craig Abbott gets the win. The blocker, no points for the division, but a whole pile of cash for Craig Abbott.
One more look at it. This from atop the tower here at Route 66 Raceway. Both drivers with pretty respectable lights. The objective to hit 1090. Both of them break out, but it's the one who breaks out the least that gets the win, and that's why Abbott is your All-Star champion.
1089.5, 5/1000ths of a second away from a perfect run, and another nice weekend for Dwight Downing. He wants to go back to the old Chicago-style match race. Let's go 2 out of 3 to that guy. How about that? Nice win right there. Great job for the big team from Division 4.
Up to Super Gas, where we do have some points implications here. We've gotten Divisions 1 Division I rather, Mike Sawyer going up against Division III's Carl Root.
It's a big-time run right here from Mike Sawyer in the Roadster on the far lane as we have. It's a very interesting second-generation racer, but if he wins this, he really does put the pressure on the other divisions. He and Frank Manzo, if they both win for Division I in these finals, they close out everybody else. Carl Root, first start, rookie, running out of the Division III with that really cool early model 1963 Chevrolet Nova. Game plan here, Dave, just like the class we just saw, except these are quicker. It's a 990 Eliminator.
$4,500 on the line to this one, and keep in mind the team implications, $20,000 going to the winning team. Mike Sawyer, as you mentioned, can go a long way in helping Division I.
Yeah, they're trying to go back to back to back, and it's a good move off the starting line. Oh, man. 600's better as they sail by the Christmas tree. Advantage Mike Sawyer. That's almost impossible to overcome in this class.
And it is Mike Sawyer giving Division I a little extra room while picking up $4,500 of his own money, courtesy of his Jegs All-Star win.
It's a great job right there in the new-look Roadster that they have coming into this season with those race cars. Meanwhile, let's go down and catch up with the winner at the end of the racetrack. And I don't mean just Gary Gerald.
The first winner that we're going to talk to, Bob Craig Abbott. How's it feel to hold on to that trophy, to have that check behind you? You're a Jegs All-Star winner.
Hey, man, God bless me. I can't believe it. Oh, it's crazy. Can I thank some sponsors right now? Okay, Sportsman Racing Engines, Joe Perez, the Red Dog Track family with Curry Racing family, and of course my family at home, the Abbotts, and thank God, my God, thank you.
Oh. Further proof that maybe a blocker. We should have that Division 8 category.
We're going to lobby for that. He's going to like when he hears that. There's again a look at Craig Abbott as he goes back to back. The blockers come in. Like we said, they take a lot of pride in this. The fact that they can't win points for the division really does not enter into their thought process. They want to win the drag race. They want to win the cash. And, of course, they want to be a Jegs All-Star.
Big matchup here in our Super Comp final. That's the 890 category. It's Ron Erks. Man, you're looking at right in there. The blocker out of Division III set to take on Division II's Sherman Adcock Jr.
This is a big-time run. Sherman Adcock really needs to win this for Division II to keep them in the chase. They came into the final round 100 points down. Sixth start, a six-time Division II All-Star. These are two of the top-of-the-line drivers in this class. You're going to have to be very quick off the line. At the end of the racetrack, try to see if you can push that other guy under the dial. Out of the gate, great move. The worst light was a .02. Should be a good sprint to the finish line.
And the win goes to Ron Erks. The blocker out of Division III, and that's going to put a hurting on the Division II hopes here.
Yeah, that really does hurt them. Sherman had a chance to pick up the point there. They both ran under the dial and closer to the dial. There's your win. Let's go back down to the end of the racetrack. And Gary, you get to get all the excitement down there.
Absolutely, and these guys are just so elated. Michael Sawyer, another trophy, $4.5 grand on that check behind you. How good's that feel?
Oh, it feels great. And I just really want to thank all the folks at Jegs. They do such a great job for all of us sportsman racers. We really appreciate it. And my family has been so instrumental for all this. I can't thank anybody enough.
Congratulations. Thank you.
And Mike Sawyer, don't make out that deposit check yet, too, because Division I still very much alive for sharing that 20 grand.
It's going to be very interesting to watch. I get a chance every year to host the Division I banquet. Last year we honored the Jegs All-Stars, and it'll be great to give Mike and these guys the championships again down there. Jegs Senior down there actually started racing in the sportsman categories, went to the finals at Indy, ran Ohio George Montgomery back in 1959.
That's a stock eliminator car. That's the blocker out of Division I. Last year's champ, Russell Linky, racing for Dad Ross, Uncle Doug. On the other side of the racetrack, Division II's last hope. This is Brenda Grubbs. Remember, they're in this points race as well. If she loses here, though, it officially closes Division II out.
Now it's going to be a very interesting matchup here. Brenda's a former division champion. She's been driving very well here this weekend, and an excellent running car. There are no easy pickings when you get this far in the Jegs All-Star. There are no easy pickings in round number one, but Brenda's a great story there. She runs a lot. She's won championships. She's won division titles. Like that, a Jegs All-Star to her resume. All she's got to do is stop another one of those blockers. That is big Bubba Linky, and I mean that is a bad hot rod.
Linky will get the head start over on the right side of your screen right now. Brenda's going to try to run him down at the far end.
Red light start on the line. That baby's over. It's red light and good night. And Brenda Grubbs will join a very select group of women racers. The late Shelley Howard, Marianne Method, Division I's Lynn Husigian, who have won this thing. Congratulations there to Brenda Grubbs. She gets the win. Russell fouled himself out of here by 0.02 of a second.
Down at the far end with Ron Ertz. Once again, here's Gary.
Ron, you got a real war hoop when you climbed out of that machine.
Man.
This must feel very special, right?
It does. It feels really good. My family's here. They haven't got to race with me a lot lately. Feels really good to have my wife, my son Dylan, my daughter Delaney. It's just great to have them here for a change. You know, the kids are in baseball now, and I don't get to be here as much as, or be there as much as I'd like. So this feels great to have them here to see it.
Well, go reunite with them and have a great party.
Thank you.
Woo!
Last chance for Division II on the line right now. The car on the left side of the screen, that's Anthony Bertazzi, former Lucas Oil world champion. Ironically, coincidentally, the guy in the other lane is from Division I, but he's the blocker. So Mike Iaconio can shut out Division II right here.
An interesting matchup. Anthony's going 002 and then perfect on the starting line. Two of the absolute best that you're going to get running in these classes anywhere in the country. They meet a lot out of the Division I area when they race back there on the East Coast. They got division races coming up soon, but right now this is for all the marbles. Big time must win here for Anthony for the Division II guys.
Well, Michael with the big advantage off the starting line. Can Bertazzi run him down? He broke out. 999 is what he was dialing. 998 is what he went, and Bertazzi gives Division II hope. Unbelievable as we head down to the far end once again with Gary.
I'm scrambling down here, Dave. We're dancing around checks and trophies and trying to watch the action on the track. And Brenda, you now add your name to that very exclusive list of being a Jegs All-Star winner. You dreamed about that?
I actually have dreamed about that. And thank you so much to Jegs for making this a wonderful event. Thank you for Crew Chief Pro, Goodyear, MSD Turbo Action, the Racer's Mind. And most of all, thank you, my husband, who made this happen. He deserves this as much as I do. And say hello to all my friends in Florida.
So 3 teams still eligible. Division I, Division II tied right now with 900. Division IV needing 2-round wins, and they have 2 opportunities to do that. One of them coming on the line right now as you take a look at the defending champion in Comp Eliminator. That's Sal Biondo, the blocker out of Division I. And the other side of the racetrack, Craig Bourgeois, who can really help his team in a big way here.
Very interesting. You take a look at the old traditional race car that the people looked at them, they call it the rail. That's why. Just look at that. Just the frame rails. It is function over form, and they get set to go. And Sal Biondo's 6th start as the All-Star. Won it last year, as you mentioned. Won it in 95 in the super stock category. Can flat out drive a race car. And out of the gate, oh man, Craig Bourgeois, a 10th down off the starting line. He is not going to get him.
Sal Biondo defends his championship with another Jegs All-Star championship, and that will be the end of the road for Division IV in terms of the team title. But it's Biondo going back-to-back here at Route 66.
Very tough break right there. Craig Bourgeois, great racer, Division IV champion, just was laid out of the starting gate. When you're 1/10 of a second down in any round, especially when you're running in the final round, especially at the Jegs All-Star, especially with a guy named Biondo, you're just not going to run him down. And back on the starting line, as they say, the crowd goes wild. I think they missed the high five and hurt each other, but
ouch. Down to the far end, here's Gary.
And the checks get a little bigger. Anthony Bertozzi, you're walking out here with $6,000 plus the trophy. Tell us your thoughts about that particular run and how good it feels to be standing here in Victory Lane.
I tell you what, it's wonderful. As the Jegs family business, the business everybody knows is awesome, but I know the family personally, and they're a class act. Everybody knows that, the whole organization. They put this on for the sportsmen, just do a wonderful job, give us a showcase here on ESPN. It's just cool. I'm elated. I won a championship, the world championship in that car. Actually, that's Jeggy's old car. I bought that car from Jeggy Jr. and won a world championship in it, and I tell you, this is just as good.
Excellent. He's only got drenched 4 times, guys.
Yeah, it's a little wet out there. I think it's raining.
That means the Jegs All-Star team title will come down to this, the top alcohol funny car race. The winningest man in this All-Star event history, Frank Manzo, will decide it. If he wins, Division I wins. If he loses, we'll explain more later. As you can see, the joy and the elation from Sal Biondo.
I think it was the same group that missed the high fives. It looked like he tripped out of the car. Nothing like a water serenade down there. This is going to be good. I talked to Frank and his team before. They said that the water grains are so high, it's like 135. They said we made changes to the motor last round. It did not respond. Now watch this. Watch that. Punch him up. He says, go get him. This will be a great matchup. Frank, with the Lucas Oil deal, can close the deal right here. But that is a great race car from Division 7. Mike and Doug Gordon can run with anybody. And on this track, they've been matching Frank stride for stride.
Going for his 4th consecutive 8th overall, and he can help D1 in the process. Oh, this one's going to be close. It's Doug Gordon who outruns Frank Manzo. 562 beats a 565. His consecutive round win streak at this event shut out at 11. And we've got some interesting things happening, especially down at the start line.
There's Dad back there, Mike Rice, that snappy dressing, Division 7 director down there. How about that? Great job. Frank and John Glade told me we don't think the car can run 60 or 61 in this round, so we don't want to beat ourselves. And how about this? Great move out of the starting gate. Frank, a couple of hundreds out. Not many guys can say they've beaten Frank Manzo. Not many can say that they stopped him at the All-Star. Very few can say they ran him down, and that's exactly what happened. 562 beats a 565, 256 identical speeds. Great job. How about that? And he joins his dad as a JEGS All-Star champion. There aren't a lot of father and sons that have won this thing. Great job for the team from California, the Division 7 winner.
Meanwhile, down at the far end, Gary, they keep coming at you fast and furious.
Fast and furious. Sal Biondo is the latest, patiently waiting here. But you're an old hand at this. You've won this a couple years in a row now. What's the difference from this year to a year ago?
The difference between this one and all the other years was I went to my daughter's kindergarten graduation. Jesse, I love you. Missed all our qualifying runs except for one and didn't get in and alternate. But Bill Mayo, he does a great job. Larry King and on the chassis, and Eaton Enterprises, and Nikki, Timmy, and all the guys at home. And I really can't say enough. John Gavio, my wife, everybody's very patient with all this. And Dylan, I love you too. I know you didn't graduate this weekend, but I love you too. But yeah, we didn't miss anything. I was a father in a race this weekend, and it was just great.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And the final pair, top alcohol dragsters in the burnout box. That's Brandon Pierce on the left side of your screen right now. Coming through in the Toyo Tires machine, that is Tom Baer. We're working on points right now, and while we do, we're going to send it down to the far end to Gary.
Doug Gordon, nobody has beaten Frank Manzo in virtually a year. Now you've done it. You've got the check and the trophy. What's that feel like?
It's amazing. I mean, I am just so excited. I mean, I've been here, I think, 6 times, never won a round, and today we won the first round. I thought, oh, this is the greatest day ever because I won a round. And then to beat Frank Manzo in the final, he's obviously the best. And my dad did this in '92, and it's always been something he did that I was never able to do, and now I've done it too.
Congratulations.
Yeah!
Outstanding.
Yeah!
So Bob, Division 1, 900. Division 2, 900. Settle the score.
Now, the way that I see it, the tiebreaker is the team that won the most races. In Division 2, at Brenda Grubbs, Anthony Bertazzi won. Mr. Sawyer won for the Division 1 guys. By my math, Division 2 is your JEGS All-Star champion right now. But remember, I took 4 years of Latin, so I wouldn't have to take math.
Good stuff.
It's like my favorite line, 5 out of 4 people have trouble with math.
Well, I'm 6 of them, so I'm right there with you.
But that's the way I figure it. So tied with the number of points, team with the most wins gets it.
We'll hear more from Frank Manzo tomorrow, who still has his 42 consecutive round win streak intact in a national event. But right now, it's all about top alcohol dragster. $7,000 on the line. Can Brandon Pierce get it in his first appearance here, or will it be Tom Baer in his first appearance in a top alcohol dragster?
Pierce has won 2 on hole shots. Bears won 544 and 544. Those are the numbers that Brandon Pierce's opponents ran. Should be a great drag race.
This one's nip and tuck at the far end, too. It's Tommy Baer, goes 540 at 259. Brandon Pierce was holding about 400s at the starting line, but Tommy runs him down.
Back on the starting line, Steve and Patty Federlin and Justin Davis and his team in the green shirts. That car is also owned by Steve Federlin. What a great job. I mean, 2 dynamite race cars. Brandon Pierce goes 547 again. He went 547, 547, 547, and this time he was just not good enough. He was 400 better out of the gate. Did almost exactly what he did the last 2 rounds, but this time the guy in the other lane goes 540. Just a little bit too much for him at the top, and 1/100th of a second the margin of victory. The Toyo Tires team, the former Lucas Oil world champ, former division champ in 2 classes, Tommy Baer for Steve Federlin. What a great job for Steve and Patty, and for Brandon Pierce and Tippy and the entire gang. Great weekend right there. And they just got beat by the better car in that final round.
What an unbelievable day we've had here. The JEGS All-Stars capped off with some scintillating finals and a comeback win for Division 2 in the team title. Unbelievable stuff, Gary Gerald, as Tom Baer's bouncing.
That was, I guess that's a victory bounce coming out of that cockpit. Is that your signature move with that win, Tom?
I'm usually pretty calm. Oh, fantastic. I was here in 2002 in Super Comp and got my ass beat. And a little redemption this weekend. I want to thank Toyo Tires, giving me the opportunity to drive this car. Steve and Patty Federland for all their help, and they got a fantastic team. Kyle, Thomas, and Brian, they worked all night last night getting this car tuned up. We've been fighting it, but this thing's back. We're back. Valvoline, Dave Barcelone's Truck Town, Pacific High Reach, our new partner, and or actually our second car.
Show me that bounce one more time.
Oh man. Yeah! How's that?
Style points. He's got him, baby.
Woo! We give it a 10 in the booth. Nicely done by Tommy Bears. We take a look at the final point standings. With 900 points each, Divisions 1 and 2 are tied, so you go to the tiebreaker, which awards points to winners, runner-up, and semifinal finishes, and it's Division 1 for the third year in a row.
Yeah, it's a great weekend. You can tell by the driver's reaction. It's more than just a drag race, more than just about the cash. You want to be the man, and for the next year, he gets to call himself the Jegs All-Star. Congratulations to the winner.
One more look at Tommy Baird doing the big bounce thanks to his $7,000 win and the joy and the elation that goes along with $7,000 and beating Frank Manzo. Time to fast forward the calendar by one day. When we come back, it's all about the Torco Race Fuel Nationals. Back at the Torco Racing Fuels Route 66 NHRA Nationals, it's Sunday and semi-final time in Top Alcohol Funny Car. Our first pair is going to be Roger Bateman and Jay Payne coming up next. A rematch of the Jegs All-Star Final where Frank Manzo will take on Doug Gordon. And you can see who has the lane choice on our Lucas Oil ladders. It's Payne in the right lane, Bateman in the left lane. Jay with a good start. Bateman's going to run him down those. Payne runs into problems and smokes out of the left bank.
It was a very nice run for Roger Bateman, Ken Murray, the entire team. That's a brand new race car that Brian Friesen has put together. It's a Pro Start engineering chassis. One bested engineered at the last race on tour. And there's Ken down there in the middle. He's been riding in the alcohol classes, the old Pro Com class for a while. Jay Payne's car just started gasping for breath down there at the end of the racetrack. Very solid run. Jay got out of the starting gate first. Down about half track there, Roger Bateman had tracked him down, and the guy that had a very good season last year going into the finals here for the first time in 08. And see the smoke coming out, that's not good.
You mentioned gasping for air. It's been kind of a wild and wacky day here once again. We had rain and thunderstorms, tornadoes yesterday, had some more of those rain and thunderstorms today, and it's balmy out there, 91 degrees, lots of water grain out there, and what that means is these cars are going to be gasping for air. The particulars, here they are. You can see the track temperature up there as well at 111 degrees. Density altitude 4,000 feet. All those factors couple up. We seem like we're at a lot of elevation here, and the cars certainly recognize that.
Yeah, anything over 100 of those water grains per pound is really not good. They'd like to have them down about 70. 132 is wacky.
Frank Manzo, Doug Gordon coming up, but first, here's Gary.
Roger Bateman, that 568 number, getting the job done for another round. Brand new race car going first final of the year. You've got to be happy with the way this thing's starting to develop.
We're happy with the way it's going. We're not quite as quick as the other guys, but it's going A to B and making them outrun us. And that Jay Payne walks over and says, Roger, you're red lit. He's just all full of fun, isn't he?
Isn't he? Yeah. We'll find out who you're going to face in a moment.
For Frank Manzo, the streak up to 44 now. The Lucas Oil, or the Jegs All-Star loss, rather, doesn't count against that streak. And he's probably going to be wanting a little revenge here.
Yeah, this is a great matchup right here. Doug Gordon and his dad put together a solid run last night to flat-out run Frank Manzo. Frank came back second round today, ran 5:57 for low ET of the weekend, but he knows he's going to get a challenge. And Mike getting his kid pumped up again. Frank knows that he's going to have to be on his game because this guy just ran by him last night and got the Jegs All-Star Championship.
But Doug knows Frank will be on his game, too. Manzo out the gate first. How close is this one going to be? This time it's Manzo going 5:59, outrunning Doug Gordon's 5:60. Manzo exacts a little revenge, pushes the streak to 45 consecutive.
Solid run right there, but let's give Doug Gordon and his dad credit. They ran 5:60 at 257 miles an hour. But right out of the starting gate, the Chevrolet Monte Carlo, the new body on that race car, they got a very solid team right there, and there's some tire shaking. That's going to cost you. And the guy in the other lane's running 59. You cannot afford any mistakes, even though they ran 5:60. Down about half track was a side-by-side matchup, but Frank Manzo wins it again.
We will talk to the ace in just a moment, but right now it's time to turn our attention to high motion camera, courtesy of Fletcher of Chicago. Frame rate from 300 to 600 frames a second. Normal video's 30, so that's why we're able to capture high-speed, true, high-definition, instant replay, like you're seeing here on Frank Manzo, who picks his lane coming up in the Funny Car Final. Top Alcohol Dragster, their semis coming your way next when we return to Route 66. This telecast is also available on ESPN2 HD. Welcome back to the Torco Race Fuels Route 66 NHRA Nationals as you take a look at Peter Biondo looking over to the other side. What's he looking at?
Looking at his brother in the other lane going, na 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 na. Oh, you beat me.
Aha, Biondo goes to the next round. Sal, of course.
Smooth.
Top Alcohol Dragster semi-final time. A chance for Tommy Bayer to pick up some of that Jegs All-Star bonus if he can win this round. And, of course, the next round. Standing in his way, Noah Kondo.
Yeah, the Noah Kondo team from the Imaging Center in a very solid race car this weekend. Been running mid-40s. Actually, a little transmission problem in the last round. Slowed a bit. They told me they got it fixed. They think they can run with Tom Bayer.
Big jump by the Toyo Tires machine, and it's enough to go the distance. Tommy Bayer slows to a 5:43, but goes to the finals.
Another nice number. Noah's gang ran 5:47, gave up a couple of hundredths off the starting line, and just was not able to recover. Just getting the shootout at the other end would be nice, too, but a nice weekend for Noah. How about Tom Bayer, Steve Federlin, the Toyo Tires car? Good, solid performance. That has been a flawless car here all weekend long.
Oh, this is this high motion camera we've been watching all weekend. Take a look at the left rear of Noah Kondo's car, the left tire. We don't ever see video like that. That is spectacular.
Yeah, I've never driven one of these things, but I don't believe that's a good thing happening right there. But got to credit Noah and his team. They really did a nice job. It just came up short in the semis.
High motion cameras. Get yours from Fletcher, Chicago. And the final pair brings Morgan Lucas to the line, going up against the champ, Bill Reichert. Morgan Lucas still looking for his first win of the year, Bob, in either category. He raced in Top Fuel here as well. This guy really needs a break.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting. Yeah, it's tough being Morgan Lucas right about now. Let me tell you, 24 years old and driving Top Fuel and driving this car for the family. He's got a very solid car right here, right now. These guys have met a couple of times. Surprisingly enough, Morgan Lucas 3-1 in their head-to-head matchups. Normally that's not important when teams have only run 4 times, but you're talking about the guy that's a 2-time Lucas Oil World Champ over there in the other lane. So the Lucas Oil Champ against the Lucas Oil car. I talked to Bill Reichert's team. They were talking about how the air is really going to just slow down the performance on these. We already have one supercharged car in the final running into the 530s almost all day long. They'll be hard-pressed with the injected car to match that level of performance right now because of the weather conditions.
Which are hot, sticky, and very, very hot on the racetrack as well. It's going to make traction come at a premium as well. 104 degrees, it's actually come down as we work late into the day. Here it is, Lucas and Reichert, chance to go to the finals, Route 66.
The balmy 104.
Reichert's out on Lucas, and he will streak to the finish line first. 5:34, 2:66. Those are pretty surprising performance numbers out of the 8 fuel machines.
Yeah, I really did not think we'd see cars in the low 530s. Tommy Bayer in the other half of the semifinal ran a 5:43 to get there. It's a supercharged car. It's an injected car. It's the reigning Lucas Oil champ against the guy with a chance to double up because he won the Jegs All-Stars. But very nice matchup right here. The two drivers dead even off the starting line. Down about the 8th mile mark is when Bill Reichert put about a car length on him, and he never looked back.
Morgan Lucas ran a 5:44 in the other lane, and he probably thought that number might be good enough to get in the finals, but it's not. And the Lucas Oil World Champ goes streaking down the racetrack and in to the final round. As Morgan Lucas climbs out, we can tell you that he's going to be a very dejected boy. He also took a semifinal loss in the top fuel category as Reichert pulls all the way down at the far end.
Very interesting because in this class, nobody has really stepped away from the pack in the alcohol dragster category. Bill Reichert's been to one final round. He'll stay right at this track, run the Lucas Oil Division race next week, and if he can get a baseline performance with that, get out here with a win, he's in good shape in the points.
So Reichert will make his way into the finals, which are coming your way next as we got plenty of muscle here at Route 66. We'll flex it when we come back with all the finals. Stay with us. The NHRA Lucas Oil Drag Racing Series, brought to you by Lucas Oil, made in America, sold to the world. It's a beautiful evening here at Route 66 Raceway. Temperatures perfect for the final round of Top Alcohol Funny Car, where Frank Manzo is riding a 45 consecutive round win streak, still burning over losing the Jegs All-Stars a day before. Roger Bateman on the other side, though, going to give him all he can handle.
Yeah, good matchup. The team from out in British Columbia going to give him a good run right here. They've been solid all day long out of the starting gate. And Frank Manzo, big advantage out of the gate. Bateman breaks, and how about that? Frank Manzo comes back and wins it here. That's a great run. 5.58, 259 the speed. And for everybody back involved with that team, Frank will probably tell you we weren't performing the way we wanted to here this weekend. Gets out of here with the win and runs that streak. Just keeps on going.
5:58, that's a final number for his 75th national event win. We will talk with the ace about that big win as you take a look in high motion. Top Alcohol Dragster final. That comes your way when we come back to the Torco Racing Fuels Route 66 Nationals. Come back with us. The Lucas Oil Drag Racing Series is in Chicago, Illinois. Just about 30 miles from here, you can find the legendary Wrigley Field and Harry Carey, baseball's legend. We've got our own Bob Fry here. You know, our next Lucas Oil Drag Racing Series event, we head to Bob Fry's home state, Sunday, June the 29th on ESPN2 and ESPN2 HD. It's the Lucas Oil Super Nationals from Englishtown. From one New Jersey into another, there's one very proud one at the far end with Gary Gerald.
Well, Frank Manzo, the sign says it all. 75 national event wins. Where does this one rank amongst all of those?
They're all great. Every one you have to work hard for. Got a great competitors, you know, Doug Gordon, the gentleman in the final. I mean, they're all great racers. It brings the best out of everybody, all of us. And, you know, the Alcohol Funny Car guys, they all put a great show on, and we all want to win. And Lucas, Hoosier Tires, Jegs, Chevrolet over there. We ran good all weekend. We got beaten the All-Star last night. Doug Gordon did a great job, you know, but we had a great weekend.
And that ties him with Pat Austin, number 4 all-time in national event wins.
Climbing the list indeed. Top Alcohol Dragster, our final. Tom Bayer looking for the double up. He was the Jegs All-Star champ. And then there's Bill Reichert, the champ.
Yeah, Bill Reichert's got to keep right with Tommy Bayer off the starting line because Tom's been running times equal to that Rizzlone Dragster here this weekend. The key right on the line. Big move for Tommy Bayer off the starting line.
But no go. The Rizzlone machine, Bill Reichert, streaks down the quarter mile, 5:35, gets the parachute out, and Gary caught up with him after this race.
Well, for the 15th time in his career, Bill Reichert is proudly hanging on to a Wally, but this has been a season with a lot of frustration. What have you been trying to conquer, Bill?
Well, we've just had all sorts of gremlins. It seems like we've had valve train problems, oiling system problems, just a lot of everything, and we finally, I think, got it under control, and we've won the last 2 races we've been at, counting this one, and I'm really glad. Bars Leak, Rizzlone Oil Treatment, NGK, all of those guys have done a wonderful job. Red Line Oil and everybody have done a great job helping us out, and we're ready to go now.
The Reichert Express back on track.
Now from the Jegs All-Stars, Bob, to the finals of our Torco Racing Fuels Route 66 Nationals. We've had a great weekend.
Yeah, it really was. Congratulations to all the winners here at the national event. A lot of those doubled up here this weekend. Some went to the finals at the All-Star and then came back and got the win today. Great weekend for the sportsman racers here today.
We have seen it all, from wheel stand and stockers to tornadoes to thunderstorms, but we survived it all at Route 66 and had a great time. We hope you had a great time as well. For Bob Fry, Gary Gerald, our entire ESPN2 staff, thank you for joining us on this Lucas Oil Drag Racing Series event. Our next one's coming your way. Don't forget, June the 29th. Check us out at noon from Englishtown, New Jersey. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports, congratulating Frank Manzo and Bill Reichert. So long.